Hi everybody, welcome back. I'm Dorothy. I am a professional astrologer. You can find me on the web at nhastrologer.com. There you can contact me if you would like your own private sessions. And I'm teaching classes online. You can connect with me there as well. And Facebook, Dorothy Morgan Astrologer. So today what I want to do here is, and this is a new format for me. I've been watching and I've been trying to figure out if I want to do the whole year for each zodiac sign, or if I wanted to continue doing once a month for each zodiac sign. Now that is a huge amount of hours. I can't do it anymore. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a 3-month forecast for each zodiac sign. So January, February, March, or basically the winter months, the winter season, and I will work on that for you. And if you want to see the first part of the winter, you go back and you watch the December forecast for your zodiac sign. Okay, so this intro will be in every video, just so you know. Watch the time. If you want to go watch another one, you can skip past this point. All right, thank you for watching, and let me get started. Okay, so this is for you, Cancer. So the full moon in your zodiac sign is on January 4th, and that's in your first house. So when you have a full moon in the first house, it just is a major focus on who you are and how you present yourself, your caring, nurturing self to the world. And it is all of, you could very well be on burnout, or you could very well be welcoming lots more emotions and a lot more people into your life at this point in time. It varies person to person, as you very well should know. Now, with 4 planets in the sign of Capricorn at the same point, this is in your 7th house, and so the focus here is on relationships. So this tells me, what do I need within a relationship, and what are you giving too much? Are you spending too much time with others? Are you just focusing in too much on what others need and not on what you need yourself? That's the question, and that's the dynamic of what's going on in the very beginning of January for you. All right, so by the 5th, Mercury and Venus will then scoot into the next zodiac sign, which is Aquarius, and they move into your 8th house. So with Venus and Mercury in your 8th house, there is some interesting dynamics with this. So the 8th house is about outside resources, and so for you, Cancer, the focus for 3 weeks with Venus moving through Aquarius in your 8th house is, you know, what do your outside resources look like? Are you able to borrow money? Are you not able to borrow money? Are you paying back some heavy debt right now? Who knows for sure? You know, but these are all potential and possibilities. Mercury is also in that area, so please be careful about any contracts that you sign to borrow money at this time, because on the 21st of January, Mercury will be retrograde in that period. Now, retrograde's not a big deal in a lot of cases, but I don't mind if we go into a retrograde period, January 21st through February 11th, with a to-do list to get things done. But if it's in your 8th house for you, Cancer, the thing is that you don't want to be signing contracts to borrow money during that time period. You just don't want to do it. So try to avoid that period if you possibly can. If you can't, just make sure that you really read the fine print on everything that you have to sign in regards to taking out loans and paying back money. Okay? So that's what you need to do with that. That's the best way to handle that energy. It's not good, it's not bad, it just is what it is. So please stop calling Mercury bad. I know you don't always do it, but some people do. Mercury retrograde is not bad. It just gives us an opportunity to take our time and do things right. So next we have the new moon at 0 degrees of Aquarius, and that is in your 8th house as well, and that's on January 20th. So this will inspire you a new way to think about your money and a new way to look at your money, and maybe even do some grant writing or receive grant money for college education if that's something that is in your life right now. Okay, so we'll move into February. February 3rd, the full moon in Leo will be in your 2nd house. 2nd house is also money. It's related to how I use my skills and talents to earn the money that I want, to buy the things that I want to buy for myself, what I love. So with a full moon in Leo in that 2nd house, we do need to focus on not being over extravagant. I'm not going to say overabundant, because abundance can come in every shape and form, and we're not going to stop that. But with the full moon in Leo in the second house, it might show us where we might have overspent during the holidays, or have overindulged by having a bigger waistline. That's Taurus. That's that second house as well. Now, the Sun in Aquarius and Jupiter in Leo, there is an opposition here between these two planets, and that's on the 6th of February. So the Sun in Aquarius, in the Aquarius energy, is all about our group endeavors and our social status and our friendships. And when it's in an opposition to Leo, that just plays a big role in our personal finances and our assets, and it's all about really engaging in the places that we're very creative and where we want to express ourselves. These are both fixed signs, so a fixed opposition is not always the easiest, but there is some type of awareness in regards to what we're passionate about and what we want to put our hearts into as far as social endeavors go. All right. On February 6th and 7th, Venus and Pluto are in a very, very nice connection with each other. And Venus is about our love relationships, and Pluto is about transformation. But they are in a 60-degree angle called a sextile. Very, very easy to work with. So if there is something in regards to a relationship that needs a transition, that needs to transition into something else, then this is an easy transition. And I've said this in a couple of the other videos, that it is, whether it's a transition to a new level of seriousness and commitment in a relationship, or if it's a transition out of a relationship, because that's just the natural process of your current relationship. It should be relatively easy. There should be not a lot of stress around it if you work with it in that time period on February 6th and 7th. Okay? It's very harmonious no matter what type of transition it is. February 11th, Mercury will be going direct, and that means communication is at a standstill for a few days around that date. You go a couple days on either side of the 11th. This happens as well in your 8th house. It's where it went retrograde. It's now where it goes stationary and direct in your 8th house, and that is, again, those outside resources. If you're waiting to sign on a bank loan or waiting to hear if something's approved, it's just going to take some extra time. Do not force anything, especially around February 11th. We've got, 48 hours on either side of that. Things are absolute standstill. You're not able to really see the truth about stuff. So please, please wait. If you have to sign stuff, do not rush or push anything in that time period. Okay? Promise. Okay, on February 18th, we have a new moon, and it is at 29 degrees of Aquarius. That is the final degree of the zodiac sign of Aquarius. Everything at 29 degrees is the final degree of a zodiac sign, and that means we need to finish up something before we can start something new. New moons are usually about setting new goals, new ambitions, new ideas, but until the moon moves into the next zodiac sign, we cannot do that, because the 29th degree is a completion degree. It is all about ending. It is not about beginning. So we have a few hours here where we just need to allow things to end. And whatever that means for you too. I mean, it's not the easiest thing to do, because we're not sure what we're finishing up. But so right around the 18th, this new moon, if you're finishing something and you're completing something, just continue to complete it. All right. If you're paying attention to your life situations, you should know where the most of the stress is in your life. All right. And this is the thing that you should be really focusing in on and letting go, because this is not an easy transit at this point in time, because we're looking for a fair amount of freedom with this Aquarius new moon, and it can't happen if we're hanging on to too much stuff. So we might be radical, and it might be a sudden shift and change, but you're going to have to work that out in the best way that you can. And again, that happens in your 8th house. It's the last degree of the 8th house, but it happens in your solar 8th house. And with that, we really need to make sure that we don't go into debt too far, or we don't allow others to put us into that place either. Okay? All right. So also on that day, the sun does enter. This is in the evening, but the sun does enter the sign of Pisces. It moves into the sign of Pisces within a few hours, and that ends up moving into your ninth house, which is higher education, expanding our awareness. It is learning through travel and education through exploring new cultures and new environments, and just truly expanding your awareness and exploring things that are new. And the Pisces energy there in that house, if you have that Cancer rising, it is already naturally in that house for you. And that just means that you're most likely a very spiritually oriented person to begin with. If you're a Cancer in a water sign, or you have Cancer rising, that already makes you a very spiritual person. But then you're Pisces in that ninth house, so education and learning and expanding your education and your awareness through anything that is spiritual, metaphysical, is definitely something that is just natural and innate for you. So the sun moving through this area starting on the 18th of February is very helpful for you and very wonderful for you. So you'll be able to learn a lot with this energy. So go with the flow on that one. Then we move into something that's a little more structured in a way, but it's a little more fiery. So Mars moves into its own sign on, let me find it, here it is, on the 19th. Mars enters his own sign of Aries, and that moves into your career sector. Venus will do this, will move into that sign and that house for you as well on the 20th. And then by the 22nd, Mars and Venus will conjunct in the sign of Aries in your 10th house. So this is interesting. Mars and Venus in Aries. So that's a physical connection between the masculine and the feminine, if you catch my drift. Okay. Now it's in the 10th house of the career. So you be careful that if there's an office liaison going on, you might want to be careful, because it will just, it'll be hot and it'll be steamy and it will burn out really fast. All right. If there are not other qualities involved in the relationship. I don't care what your gender is, but I'm just saying this is definitely a hot ticket. Now, you can also have a very lively debate with a coworker, which probably wouldn't be the best thing to do, because somebody is not going to be happy by the end of this transit. This transit is a couple days long, 2-3 days. But I want to get back to the Venus-Mars connection at work. It's just very public. It will not be secret for long. And that is your warning. Okay. I know. On February 23rd, there's a few things I will add to this energy, so continue to listen. It's interesting. So on February 23rd, the mutable energy of the sun in Pisces makes a square aspect to Saturn in Sagittarius. Now, this is a little bit of a mixed bag. Sun square Saturn can restrict things, but it is a hard angle, considering it's in 90 degrees, but it is mutable energy. So that just means there's an obstacle is created for us to express ourselves appropriately, or the way that we want to express ourselves. And as soon as we figure out what that obstacle is and work with it, we are able to move through it, be very flexible, very changeable. So this 90-degree angle is not very harsh at all, but it might actually help stabilize something. What will it stabilize? Well, you know what? I think it was going to be the Mars-Venus, the next aspect on the 23rd and the 24th. And that is Mars and Venus make a harmonious aspect to said Saturn and in Sagittarius. And that means we are able to, is a harmonious work relationship, harmonious love relationship. Saturn will stabilize a relationship. It has to have other qualities involved in it, which I can't get into in this type of a forecast, but it just gives us the potential that something can work out well if there are other qualities involved in the relationship, and it's not just a sexual liaison, so to speak. So I want to end February. I know that was a lot. Woohoo! All right, so I want to end February with the Sun and Neptune will make a conjunction on the 25th, and that will be in the 9th house. And again, that is really excellent for anything that is involving metaphysical things, spiritual things, and truly expanding your awareness and opening up that crown chakra and really trying to learn and channel in new information for yourself. It's a very high vibrating energy. Well, it's not very high vibrating energy, but it's high enough. So if you really want to get involved in a metaphysical study group of some kind, this is a great opportunity for you to do it. Okay? All right. March 5th, we have the full moon in Virgo in your 3rd house. So talking to people in person will be very important to you at this time. Mercury is direct now and is moving direct at a pretty good clip. So it's almost back to its full speed. So when the full moon in Virgo is in that area, we are paying attention to the details of our local neighborhood, speaking to our siblings, anything. There's just a lot going on within the actual communication. It's not even texting. It's real. It's in-person communication. All right, this is a really good thing. Full moon in Virgo can say that we're looking at too many, we're too focused in on the details. That may be true for some of us, and some rest of us might have to focus in a little more on the details. It will vary from person to person. Our daily health and our daily habits and our routines definitely come to our attention with a full moon in Virgo as well. On March 10th, we have a wonderful trine aspect between Mars and Jupiter. This is all about movement and action and creating what it is that we want to express ourselves. And when we create what we want is what we're passionate about each other. It is a wonderful, wonderful day to create, to be creative in whatever interests you, whether it's your work, whether it's home design, whether it's just going out and playing, whatever it is, we can be very, very creative with this energy. On the 11th of March, Mars and Uranus make a conjunction in your 10th house of your career. Mars-Uranus conjunction is a super large amount of energy. They're both in the sign of Aries. This can be volatile. If you're about ready to explode because something hasn't been working well for you, this is going to be a rough day. This could definitely bring it to a head. Or if you just are, if things are in a good place, but you need an abundance of energy to accomplish a project, this is also very good for that, especially if it is a project that is yours. Not doing work for someone else, but doing something for yourself. The Uranus energy is all about that unique expression and really thinking outside the box. And Mars in Aries is very selfish in some ways, but it's also very independent and very, what's the word I'm looking for? I say very a few times here. It is inspirational and is great for initiating new processes. So there is two sides to this. It could be very structured, not structured at all. It could be very, very sudden, unexpected, explosive energy with no control whatsoever, or you could control it by focusing in on the energy of that Aries. Okay. On the 14th, Saturn will station and move retrograde for the coming 4 months in your solar 6th house. Now, we want you to focus on your routine, your work environment, your co-workers. It's not the same as the career, but it's your co-workers and your health. With Saturn retrograde for 4 months in this sector, that is what it tells us, is that you need to focus in on your daily routine and what is working and what is not working and how you can make adjustments to that is very important, especially for your daily health, which means your diet might need to change. Something very simple, but not always simple. Venus enters Taurus on March 17th, and that's in your 11th house, so getting out and having some fun with your friends is a top priority. And when it does enter that area, and when it does move into that sign, basically, it'll be a lot of fun. So join some new groups, have some fun groups, join a meetup group, something that is just has a where you have similar interests and a lot of fun. Okay? Yes. Now, we also have the total solar eclipse on March 20th, and that's at 29 degrees of Pisces. It is early in the morning on the east coast of the United States. This is the very end of the zodiac. And so what we have with this is, even though it's a new moon, it is not about setting new goals yet. We have to wait for the for the planets to move into Aries. So, because we have a void of course moon with this new moon. So what we get to do is we need to wait about 13 hours, 12 and 13 hours before the sun and the moon will move into the sign of Aries. So until then, all day on March 20th, we basically have about 12 hours of a void of course moon. All right, and that just means nothing will come of this. So it's all about going within. Even though it's a new moon, I want you to go within, and I want you to release things that you've been hanging on to for a long time. This final degree of Pisces is the culmination of everything. And so when you need to let that go, all right, before we can start something new. And the only way we can start something new is to let go. All right. The new moon brings about those new beginnings in that ninth house. So exploring travel and finding a new sense of freedom by letting go of the past and exploring new cultures and, you know, finding new things to study and new interests and just being very curious and inquisitive is the way that you can use the new moon on that will be on that is on March 20th. All right. The sun will enter the sign of Aries 13 hours after the new moon. So we get to immerse ourselves into new energy. It is the astrological new year. It is the spring equinox. And with that energy, the video just paused for a second. With that energy, you know, we get to immerse ourselves into the new things and set new goals then. Because it's like, I think it's at 6:45 p.m. that the sun enters the sign of Aries. And the moon's there a little bit before that. But the point is like by the evening of the 20th, we're in the new year. There's new opportunities. So set new goals. Perfect day to make vision boards if you're into vision boards. And set your goals for the whole year. And what it is that you want. Be very selfish. What do you want? It's okay to want abundance and happiness. Absolutely okay to do that. So do that for yourself. And I'm going to leave you with that. So thank you for watching. Please share. This is 3 months. Sometime in March, I will put up the next batch for the 3 months after that. I'm going to do this quarterly. All right. Thank you very much. I think I told you that at the beginning. It's been hours since I started this. Namaste. Namaste.